Look at the bright side. At least you're a migrant laborer that goes into the sky and not into the ground. So I have these strong women always reminding me that don't be stuck in the glamour of what you're doing. The glamour is at home.
Welcome to Shotgun Story, the podcast that has conversations with indie creators about music, meaning, and the point of it all, so that you may be inspired by the journeys of other artists who are doing it for themselves, and maybe gain a little more understanding as to why it matters quite so much that you keep creating. There is so much to understand about what it means to have a career as an independent artist. And when you add children to the mix, it can become a little more complex. To help keep you creating, we're excited to bring you this 10-part series, focusing particularly on being a parent in the music industry. This project is made possible with support from the Music in Africa Foundation, the German Federal Foreign Office, Siemens Stiftung and Goethe-Institut. As a musician and a parent, I know firsthand some of the challenges faced, and so these conversations have been really eye-opening. And remember to go to shotguntory.com for bonus behind-the-scenes content from today's episodes, as well as to explore the other conversations in this series. Siyabonga Mthembu is a performance artist, not a musician. We're going to talk about that in a second. He's a curator. He's the vocalist from The Brother Moves On, and he's a dad. He's also our first returning guest on the show, which is really exciting. So, hi.
Hello.
Nice to have you back.
Good to be back.
First, why would you not call yourself a musician?
It just comes with baggage. I'd have to have gotten my grades. It would mean I read music in a certain kind of classical way.
Yeah.
It's just things that I don't want to have to answer, even if I do end up answering them in my own experiential. So I've taught myself the best way is when you're around artists, I don't call myself an artist. When I'm around musicians, I don't call myself a musician. There's less for me to defend about who I am and how I am.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
I love how strong you are and how well you know yourself.
Well, it's like being the weird outsider kid teaches you how to define yourself. And I think you spend so much time trying to be something you're not, that eventually all you have is to come to terms with what you have.
Surrender.
Yeah. There's not much choice. It's like knowing that it's never done. It's like there's stuff that still needs to be written. There's acting that still needs to get done. Like I told myself next year I'm going to start acting again. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Oh, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm a trained actor. I studied drama, but I always had a problem with playing someone else's personality. And that's such a basic way of looking at acting, and I've known great actors who've taught me the opposite of that. It's not to say that. But I didn't think I had it within me, but now I've watched and learned a lot more things to not be playing tropes of myself. So it'll be easier to play someone else.
So acting next year?
Possibly.
But I'd like to get a sense of what's going on now. What have you got on the go?
I'm curating a collaborative piece of work that will involve Msaki, Umle, Opupolga Pico's vocal chorus, Joa Jo, which is like this duo from France. Like really cool music, but I can't even describe it as live really. But I try and link that. And The Brother Moves On as the house band for a 16th of December performance. It's a meditation on freedom songs.
Wow.
And what freedom songs are, in my view of them. And then that's going to be put to vinyl, and there'll be sales of 500 units of that vinyl. And it's for the Paris, New York Heritage Festival. So that's the thing that's now in January. I'm going on tour with Ndaba Is. The brother goes, I curated a night at the Brussels Jazz Festival with The Brother Moves On and Bokani Daya.
Wow.
We then go to the Bimhuis in Amsterdam and we do a night at the Bimhuis. Then we each take a night at Moods in Zurich. And then we take a break and the brother heads to Slovenia for a night in Slovenia. And then we meet together on the day the album was launched last year to celebrate the anniversary at Son Hiver in Paris. And then we fly home. And then I got a really great call. I'm going to be singing at the Zitz Mocha from the 10th and 11th of December from this amazing, amazing curator known as Bonaventure.
Oh my God.
Bon's asked me to come and sing the voices of those stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic. So I'm taking my good friend Malcolm Gianni, hopefully, with me, and the two of us are going to spend 5 days in Cape Town, you know, meditating on that.
I mean, I got goosebumps. That is beautiful.
That's the next wow, you know. Got Brother Moves on shows, just finished a tour. Got a tour in Jan, a tour in May, and a tour in November. COVID reliant, of course, in Europe. Brother Moves on just released a project. I don't like to call it an album, a project called Tolika Mtoliki, where together with Matsuli we worked with 6 tracks from the South African discography from 1965 to 85. And we redid them as the Brother Moves On to bring light to them to a younger audience. But then at the same time, we also recorded our sophomore album, She, He Who Feeds You, which is an 8-track epic of music we've found hard to record over the years. Songs which, like there's one song, Puleng, we played it at our first gig. Whenever we try to record it, it would just come out really rubbish. And this time, from the first note till the end, it's just on point. It's a really powerful album. We've signed a 2-album deal with Native Rebels Records. We've also decided that the second album is going to be a big band album. So we're going to do tracks from the Brother Moves On discography, but with a big band as the second album.
That's
so
incredible.
We're not stuck. We're free. Whoever wants to leave the Brother Moves On over the next few years still has that freedom. And that's the brother. And then I've recorded a few tracks of my own as himself. Went with Malcolm Gianni to a studio and we recorded a few, feeling tracks, just piano and vocals. There's one that's a definite one. It's called And She Said. My niece, after my brother died, came to me in the garden and said, "Uncle, you look so sad. Are you sad because Uncle's dead?" Oh. And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "My fairies also die." And something about that conversation just sparked in me that openness to grief, I guess.
Yeah.
And the song came up and it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And shooting a documentary. We're shooting a documentary of recording in COVID and recording one of the biggest albums to come out of South Africa globally in the last how many years, in double years, by going with Tisa Muneheng. He's coming with us on tour in January. On tour in May, he's shooting our show on Sunday. He's been shooting the South African scene since 2013.
I mean, okay. My real question is how, but before we get to that, because it comes into this next part, you're a parent. Where are you in your parenting journey?
It's been kind of interesting. At some points, I thought I'd have to stop music to be a parent. And my wife's made me understand how would we make money. The first few years, I basically stopped everything. And I was with my child. And I think it was the first tour Tantus was really alone. Tantus is my wife, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to T-Rex, And it was like the first period I was trying to get together Lobola money when she was pregnant, so we didn't spend a lot of time together in the pregnancy.
Yeah. And
a lot being probably 4, if not 3 of the other months she was alone at her parents', and the rest of them I was with her at her parents' place. When Vila was born, we were together, inseparable unless I was on tour. I started going on tour with Shabaka the Ancestors because I'd quit the brothers, so it would mean lots of time at home, and then I'd be gone for 30, 40 days.
Yeah.
And I'll be back at home again for a long period of time, 2 months, gone again for 30, 40 days. Once Tantus's mom was she woke up, she was like, "Look at the bright side. At least you're a migrant laborer that goes into the sky and not into the ground."
Oh.
Yeah. My sister's version of that was, "Don't forget, you're just a flight attendant. The difference is that instead of saying chicken or beef, when you arrive, you have to sing." So I have these strong women always reminding me that don't be stuck in the glamour of what you're doing. The glamour is at home. And when I was about to go on a tour that would take me on, it was 2 European tours, 2 North America tours, and 1 Japan tour. And I was going to be gone from Vila's life. 180 days, probably 150 of those days I'd be gone. But I'd be able to come back and sit at home for 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
And just veg, to tell the truth, if I was smart.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened and shut everything down. My biggest worry of that time was losing touch with my daughter because she's my pulse. She wakes up early in the morning and goes, "Daddy!" And then realizes mom's going to shut because she's being loud. And then we start tiptoeing and finds me, and then we both get out the room. And then I ask her how was her sleep, and I ask her what she dreamt of, and was it a good dream or a bad dream? What she wants to have for breakfast, which is normally nothing at that time, but it's just to ask her. It's just like the norm. So it was this moment of like being sad about finally getting to somewhere in my career, but like having to leave Vile.
Yeah.
And God kind of sorted it out. I spent every day since with my daughter, unless my daughter's going with her mom to East London to go visit her granny. And it's a part of who I am. It's even for the Zietsmaker show, the conversation was the issue of the fee and what was going on was quicker than the issue of I need to bring my daughter and my wife. My daughter's wanted to go to Cape Town for so long.
Yeah.
And the brother moves on tour is not the safest thing to take her along with.
Yeah.
So this is making sense. 5 days at least. She gets to see Cape Town.
Oh, what a joy.
Yeah. That's the thing we always talk about with my friend Dumi. We know we've reached a great point when we can take our families with us. And you can say, after the gig, guys, we actually got a dinner to go to. We're taking her to the zoo. She's never seen a zoo this big. You know, just real life things, because that's all that really matters at the end. I love my porch for that reason.
So 5, Vile's 5. Or turning 5.
She turned 5 in October 28th.
Okay.
So she's been 5 for less than a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
it was a big moment. But all she wanted was holiday and family with her mom and dad. So we went to Kingdom, this little resort just before you get to Sun City, where the water slides are smaller. It's toddler friendly.
Oh,
and she enjoyed it. Yeah.
Love her priorities.
Yeah. Well, she's also a love child, and she knows that and always reminds us of that. Her favorite moments is like she will be lying in bed, each watching something, and she'll put her hands out and touch us both and be like, oh, I love you guys so much.
Oh.
Yeah, she gets it very much. And she understands love in that way very much. And I got that from my parents as well. And Tanta's got that from her parents. So it's nice that...
Yeah, but how things pass, hey?
Dude.
The good and the bad, they pass on.
No, hey. Equally. What irritates me the most about her is it's actually my traits, most of it. It's like...
So nice. My mom once said to me that I have all my dad's good traits and all her terrible traits. Did you have any idea before you had Vile how it would impact your career?
I thought my career would stop. And I think I've been trying to do that with my career for the past 3 to 4 years. I just couldn't see it being conducive to raising someone and being present. It mattered, the presence part. It's nice to provide financially, but it's also just like the migrant laborer metaphor doesn't go away in that. It's also great to be present in someone's life and to give up a few of those pleasantries of being alone. The thing is, being alone in Paris, yay.
Oh.
Yeah, being alone in London, yay. And there's people around you, but, you know, I remember being around, we were at the North Sea Jazz Festival, and the Americans were in a circle, a few of the British, we realized they were having the same conversation. They were all having conversations about how their careers were soaring and how they were all getting divorced. And it was just like that lonely life, you know? And nothing more enriching than seeing a successful person's kids and how a person's another person to their children than they are to the world, because you have to be. Yeah. I'm a total opposite of the ferocious being I am outside to my daughter. Yeah. I'm investing in her future in a weird way and who she becomes and who she ends up with as well, by learning the lessons quicker so that not so much of the bad filtrates through to her, you know?
You are her safe place.
Yeah. You see it even when you shout as a parent, when your child gets into that.
Oh my gosh, the regret when that happens.
Like the hands come up and the freeze happens and you remember being in that position as a child yourself. You really see it as well. You're her safe place, but you gotta remember the Khalil Gibran quote and the fact that you're a vessel. You're how this being came to this earth. They chose you for their own growth and your own growth in relation. You're not everything. Yeah. And it's vital to, when they're still giving you that space of being everything, you're able to show them you're just human. Because then there's no pedestal. The pedestal is less higher for you to fall off. Yeah. because I'm on the other side of watching my mom turn older and older and frailer and frailer, need more, and then judging my relationship to my daughter where I've been giving and more open, and to my mom where I'm being like, we're running out of time and we haven't sorted out our issues. Those balancing acts kind of make you realize it's got a lot to do with your own growth. My child's going to be alright. My child's a champ. She knows what she wants. She's stronger than me. And she says it a lot. So her mom will be putting on makeup and she'll be like, Mom, you don't have to put on makeup, you know? You're beautiful as you are. Just be yourself. Or she'll be like, Dad, why are you going to work? We don't need money. Explaining to her, no, we need it for school. She's like, yeah, but come on, you know what I mean. You know, there's an underlying thing that life's trying to say to you. It's like, totally. Build this life differently so you don't have to leave me every day. Because it's not natural to leave me every day.
Yeah. From the outside world, do you think your fans' perception of you has changed since you became a dad?
Definitely. Since I became a married man and a dad, I've put in the forefront of everything I do. One of my things on my Facebook was like, if it doesn't work for Vile, don't call me. Change my friendship groups, change the people I'm around.
Yep.
It wasn't like I was like, whoa, it just happened as soon as I realized I would need to get married. This is the person I want to get married to.
Yeah.
It's the kind of home I want to have. And I'm still trying to build that. It was like the initial steps of like, rock star's over. Can't keep it up. Also, my body can't take it any longer.
Yeah. Big life.
You know, I love taking naps and cuddle times. They're part and parcel of like real life. I was like, yeah, it was great. It was epic, yes. Yeah. You know, that was one of my brothers, aka it's epic. When I was laughing at it the other day, I was like, yo, that's the kind of human beings we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the other side now. I didn't expect to be this old.
Didn't expect to be this old?
I didn't think I'd live this long.
Wow.
Kind of lifestyles we had. 27
Club.
My brother went to our 27th club. Oh. Like, it was weird. Like, just kept dropping seeds.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, man, I'm not here forever. And we're not 27th club. And he was truly like, he was Kurt Cobain of this. He was the guy who got what he was doing.
Yeah.
We got it later, but he got it initially. Now you're on the other side. You've battered your body for years. You don't know what it is to have a healthy life. You don't know what it is to have a psychologist. You don't know what it is to have a psychiatrist. Trying to figure it out, you know. And I remember seeing this old muso shooting in his backyard. And his wife, they just seemed to be talking about his life in such a nostalgic way where I was like, I never want that.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm like not done. It's not necessarily in music, but it's just like, I've never believed in the glory years.
Yeah.
And I fought it. In every single thing I do, I fought this idea that, oh, those were the times. Like, no, those times are painful when we were in them.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just watching you rise and rise and rise.
It's weird. Even a friend yesterday was like, yo, man, you've earned your stripes. And I was like, thank you. I don't view it in that way. And I think it's a bad thing, learning that, to be like, acknowledge what you've done. Yeah. So it helps you move on as well. You know, it helps you not feel like, oh yeah, this album's gonna be it. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Also, I never defined it, even on that first one. And then I realized, oh cool, basing it on other people is not a great idea. I still don't know what a good album feels like to release. Although I've released really great albums.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that's the other side of it. It's just there's a real thing of like, you're not what you conceive yourself to be. You're really living. So get out of conceiving yourself. Actually have a 5-year plan so you can judge it by something. Because it's a life, you're going to judge it by yourself and how you feel. There's no constant you.
Yeah.
It's the constant.
Just keep making.
Hey, what else can we do? I'm just like, I've never thought of it as a career. I survived with it.
Yeah.
I've never thought of it as a career. Now I'm getting to that point where when people ask, so, what are you? What do you do? So awkward to be like a middle-aged rock star. It's like, I'm a rock star. Oh, your band. How would I have heard of them? It's like, I don't know how to answer that question. yeah, the brother moves on, and it's one of either two reactions of like, don't know who the hell they are, or, whoa, okay. You know, as now I've gotten older. But when I was younger, it's a painful question. And it's like, why are you measuring me by whether or not society thinks it's okay for me to do what I want to do? But money doesn't have to equate to what you do.
100%.
And it didn't even raise my daughter. Or people are like, does she sing? And I'm like, She sang on her own. She didn't allow me to sing at all around her. I only started singing around her this year.
Definitely one of my questions is, how does she feel about your music?
She thinks it's cool, but it took a while for her to think it was cool. She didn't think it's cool just because it was her dad's. She first thought she's the best singer in the world.
Yes, I get that.
And she really writes really cool songs. I've been like toying with the idea in my head of like, she should be writing the songs for the Brother Moves On. Really, to tell the truth. We'd make better songs.
That could be a cute concept album.
Yeah. Kids also just get the melodic, arbitrary structure of a catchy song. And it doesn't become boring, it becomes catchy. So. And us adults are still trying to crack it like, oh yeah, I'm going to write that catchy song. It's going to make so much money. Doesn't happen. It's catchy to 1,000 people because they like you a lot. Not because it's a catchy song. Kids write it every single time. Every single time Vili writes a song and starts it. I start singing with her and she's like, can you stop? Like, wow, I was just beatboxing. She's like, can you stop? It's my song. It doesn't need a beatbox.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. She like specifically knows what her song sounds like.
Yeah.
And I'm ruining it all the time.
No.
Yeah. And really beatboxes. She doesn't quite beatbox. She goes. But she beatboxes in her head. And loves like TikTok beatbox videos. But she's not the kind of child who's made for TV. Luckily, she's with parents who know that that's not a good thing. Even my mom's been like, as a secret, I'm going to sign her to an agency.
Yeah.
I was like, as a secret, I'm just going to remove your bed from this house. I'm like, no, bro. Don't do that to my daughter. I did a reality TV show and it helped my life out quite a bit because it made my life less about the screen and more about the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm very careful about the thing. And I always say to my mom, how many child stars do you know that are doing all right now as adults?
Yeah. Oh.
So you make money off your kid, you get out of a financial situation, and your kid's never all right because they were put in front of a screen and performed for life and didn't take their personal feelings important. So I'm always trying to move Vila away from screens and things to quiet life, her alone, her with nature. What do you think? Because it's important, even if you're going to be a musician, even if you're not going to be a musician. And I had this thing, someone was like, so you're going to keep it away from the arts? I'm like, no, I'm going to do the opposite. Why I ended up in the arts was because it wasn't freely available. If Vila wants to do ballet, I'm going to do ballet until like a fetus or and she hates it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, you're right, ballet sucks. If Vila wants to do like ballroom dancing, like modern dancing, I'll take her to modern dancing so that she just gets to the other side of realizing, like, I think that's the thing, is like, this arts thing's supposed to be freely available to everyone.
Yes.
Everyone's supposed to sing. Everyone's supposed to play the guitar if you feel like playing the guitar. Not everyone's supposed to be exceptional at doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, just do what you like. If more artists felt that way about their work, wouldn't be stuck in this capitalist conundrum of being validated by capital. Because there's people who perform 400 gigs in a year. There's someone who performs 1 gig their whole year.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the person who performs 400 gig makes more money. How do we structure the way we live our lives? Who pays us? Do they understand what's important in our lives?
Yeah.
Will they pay you to come with your family? Will they put you up in a place that's conducive to your family and you coming there to stay for a residency for 3 months instead of coming for a night and driving in and out like you're a teenager trying to get that validation? That's the thing. I don't play after the 16th because it's family time.
Yeah.
That renewal time till my dad's birthday, which is the 7th of January, is family renewal time. It's on the road time. It's laughing time. It's cuddles times. It's I'm hungover and I can't do anything time.
Yeah.
It's not I'm on the road trying to score the last money of season time.
Oh, I mean, it leads so nicely into the next section, which is, what are some of the challenges you think that parents in the music industry face over other people in the music industry?
Nobody's even asking about your kid. And the rest of the world lives like the future's children. The arts and music and performance world lives in a void without children.
Yeah. People
can call you now, want you to come now, as if a babysitter is not an issue in life.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I have my mom. A lot of people don't. No child-friendly gigs. While our audience gets older. So now we're thrown back to having to go back to dingy clubs and small spaces and bad sound and. Why? Because, well, our audience has children and they can't come at night and we're not pulling the numbers that we apparently can pull. So they send us back to the beginning. It's not like we grow into a space of dealing in the education space of music. So I've even been saying to the guys, yo man, you need to start brother moves on academies where the drummers can learn from you, where the guitarists can learn from you. Because that's the only way I see it working, is pouring it back into the youth. And not as some like social development way, but like as a healthy way to grow up as a black man who doesn't have to be stuck at Kitchener's at the age of 37.
Totally.
Going, I'm here again, playing the same 10 venues to the same age group of people.
Yeah.
While I grow. It's a very Benjamin Button kind of situation. So like, it's that. It's having to relate to this ageless void and have a child. And understanding that weekends are also like family times. So we take holidays in the midweek and no one else is out there. And she has her time, but she wants to mix with other people, relate to other people. Other occupations have relations with other adults who have children. We have to like force meeting up with our friends who have children who are musicians.
Yeah.
You know, like a call could come in that could be like, yo, the great jobs in Canada. Moving to Canada.
Yeah.
We have to go. It's a great like career move. It means I can not be stuck in being a musician, and I can move into being an arts practitioner and a curator in that space of life. That's going to mean Vila's going to move.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of life she has. That's the kind of parents she chose. My mom says it best. She's like, it's not any different for any other profession.
Yeah, that's true. How do you think that our industry could better support parents?
Phew, man. It's so weird because it's also the answer to what's lacking in like the lack of a market, the lack of a direction, the lack of socio-economic relations that could force the government to be pushing more funding into our space.
Yeah.
But like, let's kill the cool. Like, let's make the cool really something that relates back to children. Look, keep the puke fests, but let them not be the youth fests of the space. Child-friendly festivals where you can go, like Bushfire grew just off this. You could take your kids. I remember this man used to come in with a wheelbarrow and with pillows in it, and he'd drive in the daytime at 2, set up a picnic for him and his kids on the side on the left. As it hits like just after main stage act, just before it gets that hardcore, okay, here comes the boozy times, puts them all into the wheelbarrow sleeping, drives them into the artist area, puts them into bed. And they came every year, and I used to look at this and be like, I want my child to have this experience.
Yes.
That's what's going to bring people who come and spend money at the bar and relate to, whose kids are going to grow up at those festivals and play at those festivals. And it's not to say we're relegating kind of lifestyle of like the boozy puke fest, but it's to go, that can't be the main element of it.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we used to have to be the guys, we were loud, but we knew that, hey, this is a family festival. Like, go and tip yourselves. But now it's all there is. So I feel like our audience is that ones who would spend the money, who would take it to their corps and their businesses and grow the industry beyond booze and cigarettes. Is that relation to life, is realizing that we're done. It's about theaters being accessible to children, shows being accessible to children, means of engagement being accessible to children. I'm sorry, if you're still chasing that stardom that's supposed to come, your shame.
Yeah.
We're old. We're supposed to be making the trail to which makes it easier for the Tory that was 16 to get to here quicker so that they mature quicker and extend this maturity and this understanding of this institutional knowledge further. That's the only way. I don't get this, like I keep seeing everyone feel like they're stuck in the same vibe that they were stuck in 10 years ago, and I'm like, it's not. 10 years ago was about your dreams. It's not, it's about the future. Who gives a fuck about your dreams?
Yeah.
Like, that's why the whole acknowledging that you've done something, like, it's very 10-year-old Garcia needing a pat on his back to feel better about himself. Now I'm thinking about what happens when I'm gone. And not in a dark way, but in like what's getting archived? Who's archiving it? Is the archive accessible to young Sia? This whole idea of the first black dies. We can't keep going through this thing of having to prove that we can do things. Black people have been doing things. It's just like the archive keeps throwing it away. And that's the basis. Is also why does it matter that you have to have your name written in their books? What kind of life are you living?
I mean, that idea of an archive that is accessible.
Look at South Africa. South African music is one of the most global phenomenons to come out of South Africa, to tell the truth. It's been happening for decades now.
Yeah.
Close to about 5-6 decades now. We don't have a Hall of Fame. I see big exhibitions in Slovenia, in Paris, in Berlin, big showcases. Someone was saying the other day, it's amazing. Europe curates South African music better than South African curators.
Wow.
The most amazing South African lineups have happened overseas. What do we do? Like, we need to change this.
Yeah.
We're the people with the access to the levers of power in this relation. What is it? I mean, it's a big understanding that Europe has that music should not always be gated behind fees.
Yes.
And musicians don't understand what that means. In that, you can't be charging 80,000 rands to a promoter and then expect that promoter at the door to charge nothing. Unless, of course, you and him understand he's getting that money from the government. You know, but you see, it's not absolutes. It's very particular, complex relations to who's paying for the artist, what is the artist doing for free,
Yeah.
and how are people who can't access things able to access the space
Totally.
over and over, not as a piece deal of like, yeah, we played that free gig. No, but as part of our whole process is that for everything we give to the Puke Fest Festival that's going to give us that 60, 70, 80K. We're going to play 1, 3, 4K gig in the backyard in Zakane, in Forest Law, to that promoter who we know has been building the art scene in Joburg and is trying to make sure that his neighborhood starts getting this art thing. What are we reinvesting? Why is it always the investment is coming from European arts organizations into us? What are we investing? In our spaces. In our vibes, which is not pushed by their proposals and their outcomes. Because there's an ideological juncture there where it messes out. Where, yeah, it's well-meaning, but it's not dealing with the context. Maybe the context does need an artist workshop. What are we doing to make things happen that are vital? And as artists, hey man, we're found wanting on that question.
Yeah.
Very much. Our shit is gated. We're like journalism. Yeah. They cleaned out the real shit and they left us with the gated shit. The people who are behind the paywall. Nothing's done for art's sake. Nothing's done to share that first excitement. That like, whoa, this is what I want to do with my life. Nothing's done to facilitate that. And from the artists, there are a lot of like arts activists and arts facilitators who do that, but I'm like, artists. If it's not going to mean a commercial outcome, it ain't going to be shit. And there's a lack of unity in relation to that. And maybe then let's do it from the unity from the building unit of the family. Let's not do it for artists and for artists versus the world, etc. Let's do it to fix the South African family and to give it space as it can actually like enjoy itself and make sense. That's outside of Spur.
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting, actually. What we have seen happening in our folk scene is a garden concert, which is an opportunity for parents to bring their children to a safe place, to put out a picnic blanket, to experience music in a way that they haven't for a long time. Instead of, as you say, going to a restaurant, the whole experience of that is stressful, of a restaurant. I mean, those parents are not coming to clubs anymore.
No,
so you just lose your market.
They're gone.
And those days are beautiful. And I think that, yeah, we need more of that.
If you want to be capitalist about it, that's the buying market.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not to say you don't need to go back and play that important varsity gig. So the kids know that historically this is something that's occupying the space.
Yeah.
For very political reasons, actually. But the thing is, in our past, what we've learned is we made more money off house gigs than we did off our festival gig.
Yeah.
Our festival gig was this one fee, which we strained with accommodation, per diem, etc., to get the same amount we got from the house gig where we had 20 people who we got 4,600 from the door, and they bought merch and CDs worth another 5,300.
Amazing.
We didn't have to hire sound. It's a small, like, folk attack.
Yeah.
We didn't have to hire sound. We didn't have to hire doorman. We didn't have to do all these other things. And that's the thing about it. I'm just sitting here going, we just went to play Tsakani. All of our tour spaces that we went to, Tsakani had the least attendance, but made us the most money. Because the people in Tsakani bought vinyls. They were buying 3 or 4 vinyls per person. And then we played Davidson, packed lots of people, but the maths of those people compared to the maths of these people. And that's what getting older does to you. It's just like, you don't have to have 1 billion fans.
Yeah.
And the biggest marketing run and global tours. You need a local.
Yeah.
You need a place you play every week.
Oh, God, imagine.
That's it. That's in essence what you need. A place that fits your identity, fits your family. Family can come and sit there that week. You need a local.
That's a great idea.
The health of an artist is how many times that artist performs. And so many times we make that based on capital. How many times you get to perform.
Yeah.
You know? And not the ritual. The ritual done to 10 people over and over again means that, it's easier to do it for 100,000 people.
Yeah.
But the ritual done to 90,000, 20,000, 4,000, 2,000, 500. It's not enough for you to understand what you're doing and where you can alter it. And you're just throwing things into the dark hoping they land.
Totally. I mean, that's an incredible piece of advice for any indie artist.
Is that just take it easy, man. Figure out what you're doing. Then it becomes easier to sell it. Most bands' biggest mistake is that someone picks them up before they know what they're selling. Then you're having fights about someone else's ideas because you don't have any.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. Is it's cool to defer on someone's ideas if you have ideas. But now you're all fighting that you guys don't have the idea and this person showed up with an idea and turned you now into a world music band.
Yeah.
Why are we now playing world music? It was because you didn't have an idea.
Totally.
Of what you wanted to do. There's nothing I was pushing back.
There's that famous idea that if you don't know your direction, someone else does.
And maybe sometimes it's not bad. Tiago from 340 Mil once said, give the freaking major that one big album.
Yeah.
So they get you into their roster and run with you. But that's if you're that artist.
Yeah, and most of us are not.
Hey, dude. Most of us don't know what kind of artists we are.
That's the truth. We reinvent and we reinvent.
Yeah, but we don't even have a language for that. So we're when someone asks you, what genre of music you play, it makes you nervous. It's like someone asks you, what do you do with your life?
Yeah.
Not that you're I don't do genre. With the comfortability of I'm not trying to be cool, but we do funk, and then we do some rock, and then we do... And to call ourselves one of those things would be just demeaning. Mm. People get it or they don't. And that's why it's sound. It's because it wasn't supposed to be explained. It's
just listen.
Yeah. Well, if we could have explained the Brother Moves On, why did we play it? It's cheaper just to sit on stage and be yeah, I'm the vocalist, and what I try to do vocally is... The bass is they're not bringing this to the... It's so hard to even have an interview with the band and they hate interviews. Because everyone's just what, are we supposed to just be cool? So everyone just becomes these weird stick-ons of themselves, these 2-dimensional beings. And you're just nah, man, that's the thing. It's if it was explainable, if we were great speakers, we'd be a public speaking crew.
Yeah. Or
a band. You like it? Come see it live.
Yeah.
Buy it on CD. But just because it's not in the Man and Guardian doesn't mean it ain't worth listening to. And that's the shift in the... I'm trying to re-listen to music again now. To get to loving music again. And one of the parts is just stop liking things just because other people like them. And stop hating things just because other people hate them. Find for yourself that thing that made you you. Get to know yourself. Slow it down. Make you a better musician, better parent. And you won't need to be all those things to live.
Yeah.
You'll live through them, but not be stuck on the issue of what's a good dad. Because that's what the first few years is what's a good dad?
Yeah.
I just want to be a good dad.
Yes.
Then when you make a mistake, you're oh my God, I shouted at her. Mm. And you're guilty the whole day. And she just wants you to hang with her in the present again, and you're stuck in your ways. So half the time it's just let go. You're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And you're not raising her alone. The village is raising her.
I mean, I was going to ask that. You've mentioned your mom and you've mentioned your wife. What is your support system like?
My mom is the best support system in the world.
Yeah.
My mom is strength incarnate, right? Then I've got my sister, who's like the fierce bull that you see in me is because of my sister.
Yeah.
My older sister, we're born on the same day, 5 years apart. She's married to this amazing man called Andrew Shakama. Andrew is Vile's uncle. He's my brother.
Yeah.
Because like his mom passed away, so him and my mom have a very close relationship as well. And we both lost my brother. We've let go of the in-law relation.
Mm.
Then I've got my in-laws on my wife's side. My mother-in-law is a center. When everything fell apart for COVID, my mother-in-law was just like, I got you for 3 months. You'll figure it out.
Amazing.
Don't freak out. I got you.
Yeah.
Tell me what you need to pay. I got you. And I was like, okay, cool. Just always been there for my wife in that way, where she doesn't want to make the relationship to be topsy-turvy at any point. She wants us to both be contributing at that point in life, and she's been amazing in that. My brother-in-law, Olisa, who is Vila's favorite uncle, big, burly, loving man, like her uncle Fumbata, her auntie Avena, who she looks exactly like.
Yeah.
So between my sister and my wife's sister, Vila is a mix of the two and loves them both like to the earth, and they like inform the fierce female that she is. So I've got this like cavern of like old grown matriarchs, and then the boys in the middle, and my sister and my wife and her little sister. And that's my family to like the central core. Got so many real people in my life.
And I think in terms of support and coping, community is like number one.
Central. You know, everything in life is trying to make you feel like you're alone. And if you're around people who make you feel alone, then you're in the wrong place. Yeah. And that's been like my defining factor of who should be in my life and who shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Who sees that I'm vulnerable to, and I'm trying to figure it out too.
Now, despite your amazing support system,
Yeah.
what are some of the challenges that you face on a daily basis balancing parenting and music?
Yo, every time. I feel guilty every time I leave my daughter. Yeah. And she's not helping me. You know.
She makes you feel guilty.
No. And even when I come back now, she's like, oh, is my dad back?
No.
And I'll come running out and like, oh yeah, let's give a hug. Oh yeah. Oh daddy doesn't know what I've been doing. You know what I downloaded? And she just start talking. Yeah. So like leaving my daughter anytime is kind of difficult. I can't work with her around neither because she comes in and she's like, oh, we're working. So finding that balance and how it plays itself out in an office. So I make my money on my phone. I'm moving all the time, but now it means I'm not always constantly there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to separate those worlds. I've done it in time because my wife used to hate it that I was busy all through the day.
Yeah.
So now it's very straight. I don't care whether you're calling from New York, Berlin, wherever. If I say 5 o'clock, I'm done.
Yeah.
And if I say we're having a 6:30, I've asked my wife to be like, Berlin's going to call at 6:30. Is that all right? She's like, cool. I'll take her to a 6:30 at that time.
Yeah.
Cool. And she'll respect it. She'll look after my daughter and the relation. But I have had to signify to myself, this is family time. So if I'm not gigging, I'm at home.
Yeah.
After this meeting, I'm driving home.
Yeah.
I'm calling my wife to be like, what do you need me to bring home? Because that's my life. And it's where the magic happens as well. So we have to admit, I'm not even in the doldrums. Because that's where the creativity comes into play.
Yeah.
Happens on tours and stuff in other ways, but it's been a shift.
How do you think your career has impacted your daughter? Or do you think you'll still see the impact of your career on her?
Hey, man, still see. Look, it's kept the lights on. So,
Totally.
it's that side of it, but like, still see. I hope not a lot.
Yeah.
I would love for my daughter to come across my works and over the years earn money from the estate that's left over. But I want to have a normal life. It's not about me anymore.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to get to. Most people think it's like you're resolving yourself to death. But it's not that. It's just, it's been so long about me. To me, it has to be about other things.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be around to myself. You know, so I have to find other filters to how I make things about me. So making it about my daughter is really about me.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not as direct as the other way, because then I wouldn't be able to put her first. So I have to kind of like envision it in being her being first. I get about my wife in the same way.
Yeah.
So even whenever I get any like booking, my first question in my mind thought is like, can I find a way to pay for a ticket?
Absolutely.
I want to show my wife that it's not me going away from her.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It's actually me going towards her as much as I can by making money to be present.
Yeah.
Because South Africa doesn't look after us.
Oh.
That's the truth.
Yeah, we're going to find a way. That's the point for me.
We hope.
Yeah. We just need to show people how they can help, how they can better support us. Maybe that's part of it, is that it's less an unwillingness and rather an uncertainty of how.
Look, build your own boat.
Yeah.
That's all Corona's taught me.
Yeah.
Stop counting on the social boat.
Yeah.
We'll build the social boat once we all have boats.
Yep.
No one's going to build the social boat until they've built their own boat. So let's make an equitable world where people can build their own boats.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, rather than counting on the social boat being built.
So now, big up someone for a moment.
Yeah.
Local artist to watch.
There's Keenan Meyer, amazing pianist. Just come out, really, really, really beautiful album. There's Tanti Nokwali, also just released an album, really, really banging. Just blew me away. If you're looking for not so well polished, like Diamond in the Rough, like the Brother Moves On was, Shameless band. They're dealing with an issue, attacking it. If you want a band that was hot before we were hot and have come together again on the vibe, Late Antique, have come together now. They're really, really fire. Kicking ass. We all know Mandisi Jankies is kicking ass. He's one of the few people who declares a show and it's sold out in 24 hours. Kills it. Bongiziwe is doing the same kind of relation in life. Let's not knock it. Zoe Mudicha is another one who's doing the same kind of vibe. Watch out for how Msaki is going to create the oasis for many, and is creating the oasis for many, an artist to find refuge. So like power there. The most amazing vocalists, hands down still, Siyabonga. The most amazing soul that sings and plays with such heart, Tandin Duli. Yeah, keep going, eh? My thing is I listen to my contemporaries.
Oh my God.
I love South African music. And it's weird. I can't listen to something if I don't like it.
Yeah.
So it's not like let me support my, no. Yeah. It's like, I've already been into this. It's like why I did the compilation was because I listened to these people's music. Yeah. Keenan Arendt's album is the best thing. No one really pays attention to it enough. Benjamin Jafta's Homecoming is one of the most amazing albums. It saved my life during COVID.
Oh my gosh. So you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
When I re-listen to this, I'm going to make a little list and send those names to you, and maybe you can pick a song from each and we can make a little playlist that I can include.
Do that easily for you.
So that'll be in the show notes. That'll be so exciting. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the playlist already. You don't even have to, don't even worry about that list.
We just share it.
I'll just share the link to the playlist.
Perfect.
Yeah. And it's of South African music from the 60s till now.
Wow.
Yeah. I did, even now I went to go do a show with, the Metropole Orchestra, their big band. And it was of South African music from, so I sang Stimela, I sang Dipororo. What else did I sing? I did a poem from Benjamin Jafta's, a track which is originally done by Jits Finger. But the universe has been having me deal with this as my source work.
Yeah.
This music, the South African, and it's not just the music, it's just the tangibility of the philosophies and spiritualities that lie in it so deeply. The last 5 years of my making has been about South African music. The other day, Shabaka was like, so you're like Mr. South Africa now, hey? I was like, no, I wouldn't think of it that way. It's just because I think it's also we limit what is South African.
Yeah.
Where every country I've gone to, people have brought artifacts to me of South African music. To be like, this guy was here. He lived at my house. You seem like the right people to leave him with.
Wow.
So it's just what it was sent for, I guess.
So what advice do you have for South African musicians? And musicians who are considering becoming parents? Okay.
Advice for South African musicians would be allow SAMRO and the Southern African Collecting Society to collect your South African and African publishing and mechanicals, etc., and move the rest of it to the PRS in the UK, the same equivalents, but in Europe, because you need collecting societies watching collecting societies and raising the power of collecting societies. You need not be stuck with Samra not being able to pick up your stuff. It's taken me up to this long where I switched from Gallo Music to a UK-based publisher based on the fact that the guy was like, here are your songs in circulation.
Wow.
How much are they paying you right now? There's apps, it's no longer this like pie in the sky world. You can be earning from music. Teach and learn. Like, it's what's going to keep you alive. Stage is nice money when it's moving, but it's not going to make it work. Get that online moving, dude. That's how we got overseas. I played gigs at home. We showed how we were pertinent to an audience at home, and internationals wanted the same vibes they were seeing on our videos.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'd say to them. Artists about to become parents. Yo, I'm scared for us. There's nothing out there for us. Not even the funders have even started to wrap their heads around the fact that we're parents.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing looking after us in healthcare. And South Africa doesn't have this financial system where if enough money is moving through your account, we acknowledge that you're being paid. That needs a formal paycheck. And that's hurting, like, fathers and mothers who are working.
Yeah.
And keeping us in the informal sector, in essence, and not able to get the debt. Thank God, though.
Yeah.
But not able to get the debt to live like our counterparts who are actually kind of sad due to that debt.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword.
I mean, that's amazing. That is all incredible advice. And I've loved having you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. I'm excited about this. How can people get hold of you or follow you?
My surest way is Instagram under himself, him_self, which is my solo projects and how I link to everything else. That's one thing that'll never go down. Facebook, Siyabonga Mthembu. Twitter, probably going down soon. Mr. Gold is me. I'm over having a Twitter account. I like reading other people's Twitter accounts. I don't like the activity of me doing something there.
Yeah.
Email happybrownbabies@gmail.com. Babies, BABYS. Surefire way to get a hold of me. Generally, I'm online. I am. I'm easier to find online than at gigs these days. So
amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having something with parents and music. And it's a killer idea.
Yay, thank you. It's time, I think.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's also just like we're a generation that's supposed to be instructing new ways of thinking of us and the system. And one that includes our children and that they have to go to school.
Yep.
It becomes easier for people to realize, pay that deposit. If they realize our kids also go to school.
Yeah.
Our school fees can't be, maybe the money will come.
I know. My language.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, these prep schools ain't easy, man.
This episode was made possible by the Music in Africa Foundation, the German Federal Foreign Office, Siemens Stiftung and Goethe-Institut. The Music in Africa Foundation is a pan-African non-profit organization based in Johannesburg, South Africa, with satellite offices in East, West and Central Africa. Their mission is to support the African music sector through promoting knowledge exchange and creating opportunities and capacity for music professionals. I'm Shotgun Tori, and if you're an indie artist whose passion for what you do can inspire or fuel others, get in touch. I'd love to chat. You can find me on my website at shotguntori.com.
You've been listening to another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.
Yeah. batabile, 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 badimu batabile, 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 badimu batabile, 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 badimu batabile, batabile. Kibadimu baruna, kibadimu baruna, kibadimu baruna, kibadimu baruna, kibadimu baruna, kibadimu baruna. Why yeah, 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 yeah. Why yeah, 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 yeah. Why yeah. Kibadimu